get started. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Happy to have you all back. Happy to have you here. We got another good episode. Two really strong episodes back to back. We're really doing good. On today's episode, I would first like to start just by saying I'm really grateful to have so many people within my life that have just been a part of random offhand experiences. I've got Ben here with me today. And we've known each other since high school, so it's really crazy to kind of look back and think about how things come together. And I'll tell you a little bit about Ben's story. So we met, like I said, back in high school, but around that time, before you get into it, first off, say hello. Say hello. How are you? How have you been?
Yeah, it's great to see you. I'm doing well.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we met back in high school. And around that time, when people are kind of you're in high school, you're worrying about high school things. Ben was in the background, silent professional, starting a company called Nohbo. We're sitting in his house today. So we've got a lot of cool inspiration behind us. We've got his pets, his dog. What's in his or her?
Leo, it's a him.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can't see him, but we'll take some shots of Leo later. And the other one?
Oh, Chester. Chester's actually not my dog. It's Melinda's dog outside. So.
All right. Okay. All right.
They're cousins, though.
Oh, nice. All right, we'll get some shots later. Yeah, cool. People love their dogs. All right. Yeah, so we're sitting in his home today in Nohbo, which is actually a brand that he started back when we were in high school. What? Junior year? Probably
I actually started the company back in December or sometime in 2014. I think October of 2014.
Nice.
If it helps, I can provide a little bit of context.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, and I grew up in this very eco-conscious, liberating culture. And one thing that stood out to me growing up is I was always taught this repeated mantra, so reduce to reuse and recycle, over and over and over again. And it didn't really sit well with me. The reason being is I always felt it was very much of a Band-Aid, never solved the issue of reducing or eliminating plastic waste outright. So years later, I was sitting in this biology class freshman year of high school, and they put on this remarkable documentary covering the ins and outs of the plastic bottling industry. It struck a chord for me. I went home and I walked up the stairs, saw my mother using one of those Tide Pods, and I thought it was genius. How could one encapsulate a liquid in a film that's designed to melt with water? It just didn't make sense how that was possible. I stepped foot in our family bathroom and noticed all these bottles surrounding our bath basin, and it occurred to me that the farthest room away from our family's bathroom, our family bathroom, was our family recycling bin. So I soon learned that 4 out of 5 people admit they don't consistently recycle any items from their bathroom at all. And I thought that was really upsetting. So had this eureka-like moment. What if we could encapsulate and pod beauty and personal care products in water-soluble film? This industry produces an absurd amount of waste, nearly 120 billion bottles each year. So felt like it was my calling to do something about it. Pursued it further, got it on Shark Tank, and grew the company from there.
Yes, sir. Awesome. So you guys heard it. Started in 2014. I didn't know Ben until I want to say it was maybe 2015, 16-ish, where the Shark Tank piece of it started to come into play. And I think we're similar in that we definitely want to make a change for the better and for the world, especially regarding this aspect of things. So I remember being in class and just having casual conversations and stuff, and it was really motivating for just to know someone is not only within that similar mindset, but is really you're doing really good. You're doing definitely ahead of a lot of people when it comes to that type of initiative. And I think it's I think it just goes to show that when you have the intent for good and when you have the intent to make a good change in the world, things just kind of come to you and just kind of fall into place naturally. So, all right.
Absolutely. I think I never understood how I would build a career around something that didn't seem meaningful to me. to go to work, there has to be some altruistic benefit. There's this principle called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it highlights like 5 fundamental needs you need to be a fully fulfilled human. And self-affirmation is the final need. It's like doing good, doing right, finding your purpose by doing something for others. And I feel like that's actually fundamental to enjoying your life, enjoying your work. You need some altruistic purpose, and I get that here working at Nohbo. No, that's incredible.
That's honestly, that's perfect. Like, even with just you stated, like Studio 17, we've been aligned kind of like within that. Our mission is to operate on the Sustainable Development Goals, but that even comes back a little bit further. Our logo is the pyramid, and that pyramid comes from it comes not specifically from Maslow's pyramid. Our pyramid is based off of the 3 capitals: environmental, social, economic. But we mirrored Maslow's pyramid because you can see how issues within each relative sphere are in correlation with Maslow's pyramid. So like we really kind of want to work from that bottom-up approach, and I think that's why your brand is so perfect, because it attacks like the sustainable economic piece as well as the environmental piece. So let's go. All that being said, that's perfect actually, how that all played into each other. Let's talk about your product and like the specifics of what it is and how it's going to make such a big impact.
Sure. As I mentioned before, personal care, this whole industry is very, very wasteful. Beauty and personal care packaging produces nearly 120 billion units each year. Packaging, of that, your average shampoo bottle, your average conditioner bottle, 90% of it is just water, which doesn't really make much sense. Like, why would one bring water into a shower? Something doesn't click. The third element is preservatives. Around 3.5% of your personal care bottle equates to nearly 355 million gallons each year, are toxic preservatives, just like polluting aquatic systems and oceans. And each one of those bottles can take nearly 450 years to dissolve. Unfortunately, the way I see it, current solutions just don't really solve this problem. A single shampoo bottle, only 1 in 10 ever get recycled. And of that, only 25% of that actually get recycled. There's a dirty recycling industry that's not as pretty as the recycling bin the bottles go. That aside, we feel our products are the solution here. We encapsulate and pod beauty and personal care products in water-soluble film as a packaging solution to CPGs. Essentially, my vision is to work with the world's largest, the most scalable CPGs out there and convert their existing solutions into podded form factors. I see a world where we have pods in lieu of bottled products. 70% of consumers are willing to pay more, so much as willing to pay more for sustainable packaged products. They truly just don't have options, and I feel our products perfectly solve that problem.
Okay, they definitely do. So for like, just to run that all back, so basically guys, what Ben is doing here with Nohbo, and right now the Sunrise Sessions brand specifically, is taking all of the bottles that you guys already see, everything that you already see on products, and he wants to work business to business. So and we'll go to that, I'll caveat back to that in a second, but he wants to go business to business. So basically taking a lot of the brands that you guys are already used to and are saying, hey, you guys are doing this in an old-fashioned manner, a way that's really not sustainable and not conducive to the direction that we need to be heading. Here is our solution. How can we, work something and make some magic happen out of that, which is awesome because it's super disruptive, especially within that industry. And like you just listed off all of those facts, like the disruption that goes on within one industry cascades forward. So just by you doing that and you playing that role, it's a tremendous thing that I feel once people can see, like, oh, now that we have more options, they can feel really good about, their decisions to purchase certain products and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I think one of the problems a lot of sustainable products have is, well, it's really twofold. The first being a green tax. Most sustainable products are too expensive. People that want to make the transition can't afford them. And the second product is they put a lot of onus on the user to change their habits.
Mm-hmm.
My goal with our products is to eradicate both of those problems. We want cost parity with using drops, for one, in lieu of bottled products. I see that as our long-term vision. And the second is we want the product to be as seamless as possible for the user to use. So sustainable solutions can be adopted at mass.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, once those two things occur, I think it will have this ripple effect throughout the industry where pods will be adopted in mass, not only for personal care. I hope this company inspires so many companies utilizing water-soluble films to adopt the same strategy, to convert their products to formats that follow this mission, follow this emphasis of leaving no trace behind.
Definitely. Cool, man. I love it. I'm loving this right now. Okay, so even right there, you already addressed a lot of questions I was going to ask you about the vision of where you see things going. So you already just touched on that. I want to ask you, what challenges do you see for Nohbo moving forward, and then not just for Nohbo as well, but for other sustainable brands that kind of want to make an impact, whether it's in consumer goods or any other industry? What biggest challenges do you see?
Sure. I think the first big challenge is getting one large group on board. I think once you get one group on board, others will follow. The second main challenge, and this is more of a consumer-facing challenge, is how do you teach the consumer how to use our products? I can describe how we're doing it, but I think in general, if you're offering alternative form factors, there's a huge consumer education component that needs to be addressed. Okay. And the way we're doing it is our strategy is to place these products in hotels. Hotels are notoriously wasteful for offering single-use amenity bottles throughout their resorts, throughout their lodges. By using our products, by trying new packaging displays, new infographic displays, we're able to learn from the consumer how they can actually learn how to use the product. They're forced to interact with our product, since most people that stay at hotels, they don't bring their own shampoo or they don't bring their own body wash. And from there, they convert into a consumer, a direct-to-consumer customer.
So when you go to these hotels, are you going to the hotel specifically, or are you going to the brand that the hotel is supplying these products?
Great question. We're actually doing both.
Okay,
so
nice.
We have our own brand, Sunrise Session, that we recently launched, and hotels that want to easily convert into an existing solution with no customization, no product development process, they buy into our Sunrise Session brand.
Okay.
For hotels that are looking to develop a custom line and work with Malin and Goats, a common hotel amenities provider, we work with the brand and the hotel to create a custom product.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Awesome. So you definitely, you guys have been putting in the work. I love this. If you guys didn't know Nohbo or Sunrise Sessions, anytime by now, I guarantee you sometime soon you'll see it. I was actually in Target the other day, and I noticed there was a company, I don't even remember what it's called, but they had kind of similar to what Nohbo was doing with the pods, or what Sunrise Sessions doing with the pods, when they said it was strips. They were like paper
Clean with
strips.
Plus.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, we're very close with their team.
Okay, awesome.
It's an incredible product.
Cool. And see, you guys heard that? I love how there's a lot of love within the sustainable field, because everyone has that same goal at the end of the day to reduce plastic. So reduce it in general. So when you go to these brands, it's nice to know that especially in economics, things can kind of tend to get more competitive than they need to be. And I feel like there's a competitive aspect within the sustainable niche that is there's more of a mutual level of respect, like a base level of respect of at the end of the day, we're all trying to achieve the same thing. So I like hearing that. That's good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's a very close-knit community, beauty in general, cosmetics, personal care, the industry in general. But there's definitely a special place in my heart for sustainability companies that have the same core vision and mission as we do. I think it also helps us all. A rising tide rises all ships. So the more people that sort of enter this space, the more marketing dollars that go into this space, the more attention this space gets, the easier adoption new technologies will have. This is not some hyper competitive, dog eat dog world. It's truly we all benefit from promoting our own technologies.
Nice. Okay. So as far as and this will be my last question because you really hit a lot in just what you said, but as far as from like a macro standpoint, legislation and economic principles, what are some things that you think will be like the next steps towards mass adaptation of sustainable goods within the consumer goods market, but just in general, like what do you think it's going to take for, because I'm big on transportation, so like I'm always trying to like think of how we can do things within the transportation industry, logistics industry, but just in general, like what do you think is going to be some of the bigger challenges to face, or what do you think we need to, needs to come so that we can get onto the sustainable wave?
Sure. I think everything stems from the consumer ultimately. I mentioned already that 70% of consumers are willing to pay more for sustainable packaged items. And this causes this ripple effect within CPGs, specifically the ones creating and innovating new products. The largest being Procter & Gamble. They have a new initiative in place where they say they are going to reduce their use of virgin plastic by 2030 by 50%, slashing it in half. And the way they're doing that is they say they were inspired to do this by adopting concentrate form factors of products, i.e. Tide Pods. Hospitality is another sector that I think is adopting a lot of the change from CPG's innovations. They have new internal corporate regulations that have been almost superimposed by the top down, citing that they will eliminate their amenities program outright. A lot of this is driven by government regulations. The state of New York, the state of California have banned single-use amenity bottles in hotels by or before 2024. Ultimately, I think everything derives from consumer needs. They are pushing in these very progressive states to change legislation, which is having a ripple effect in innovation from CPGs and adoption of new products in hospitality. I think moving forward, consumer trends are clearly indicating people want products they can feel good about. The products that survive in the long term will deliver on that need.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. And a thing that he said here, in a number that you'll hear a lot, 2030 is a big goal year for a lot of sustainable initiatives. I know that within the Sustainable Development Goals set out by the UN, that's the year that they're aiming for as well. And I think a lot of companies have taken that challenge and kind of, like Procter & Gamble, that's a good one. I can see them definitely making changes just because of their size. I know Amazon is committed to zero carbon emissions by that 2030 goal. And then you said even state legislation coming down to it earlier, 2024. You guys will start to see these dates pop up more, and that's just kind of like a timeline that you guys can kind of get in the mindset of to show hey, we kind of need to be doing better holistically. Even if your part in sustainability is just as a consumer, you definitely kind of want to get into it earlier if you can, if possible, because again, a lot of this is the availability and the options that are out now. But it does help to get into your role and kind of get into a part of this before 2030, because that's a big date that's thrown out there for a lot of reasons. And yeah, it's we do have to start making a change within a respective amount of time. So yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this. This is dope. You guys, before we did any of this, you took me on a tour in the back, and I'll take some shots of that too. And it's just really dope. It's really cool to see the process of it and how everything is made, and this foundation that you built, which is, dude, 10 out of 10 kudos for real. It's super dope, but it's also it's really inspirational. And I went to just sitting in front of you in class, I was like, holy crap, yeah, this kid's doing it. It really kind of woke me up to I knew I had that fire, but putting it into a corporate setting was something that I was okay, I can see how this is getting done, So it's a real eye opener, and I feel it should be eye opening for people to see you can play a part in this in any way. You know, like this you said spurred from a high school class combined with you know, experiences that you had in Seattle and just going home and seeing your mom doing something. Just that spark, just that idea basically is what I'm getting at, is enough for people to like, if you guys have that spark or you have that idea, you should put in the time to pursue it the most you can, because, you know, it wasn't easy. And like, I know for you, it wasn't easy. There's a lot of failures that come along with this, but failures are just opportunities to keep going and, you know, go with the experience that you had. So this is really cool. It's really dope. So we'll go ahead and close it out. We get into some questions. We're bringing this back, guys. So we used to have just straight up like would you rather's or like goofy questions. We might bring those back, but in general, I've gotten a lot of feedback saying that people like the questions. So I'm gonna give you like some personal ones. One is one is more a couple of them more serious than others. Anyway, so I'll just get straight into it. All right. So the first one is more like whatever. It's more like, you know, serious. Like, what words would you share with past Ben that you feel would inspire eco warriors today? To kind of get into that mindset.
With passion?
Past Ben.
Past Ben?
Yeah.
What words would I share with past Ben?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think I'd give myself a little motivational speech. I'd say you're in for a trip.
Yeah, like you got it. You know, stick to it type thing. Because
Yeah.
you never know, man. You never know. I'm sure you didn't anticipate all this when it started and stuff.
Oh no, never in my wildest dreams. I was a little kid alone, like just strumming away at an old guitar in my mom's house, like with the door closed, behind, like with the blinds closed. I was just in this depressed mindset, trying to think of like, how can I create something that will get me out of this?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's beautiful, man. See, you guys you gotta follow that spark, man. It'll come from your darkest moments. It'll come, I swear. Like if you guys ever feel like you're going through it or anything, you gotta keep going, because that could definitely lead to a spark that you never see how it's gonna turn out. You never know how it turns out until you pursue it. Okay, so question number 2, and you can pass this one if you have to. I don't want to get you in any trouble, but if you were on Shark Tank right now and you had to pick a different shark other than Mark Cuban, that's who we went with, who would it be and why?
I would choose Richard Branson. He's a guest shark,
Okay,
but it counts.
Okay. All right. Any reason
Why?
specifically? Yeah.
Yeah, because he has Virgin Voyages.
Mm.
He has Virgin Hotels. I think he has an incredible brand that he's built that has really changed so many industries in general. So I think our products would pair nicely with what you could provide.
Sunrise Sessions, first consumer brand in space. See
Exactly.
It, guys. See it out there. All right, and then final question. Yeah, I'll ask you this one. So I actually asked you 2 more because I like them both. Okay, so the first one is, what do you like to do to relax at the end of the day? I know you're really busy. I know this takes a lot of like time, like if not all of it, but when you do have time for yourself, what do you like to do?
Sure. I love to play backgammon. I consider myself like a little chess backgammon fanatic.
Oh man, I got skills, all right.
Aside from that, I walk my dog. That's my little peacekeeping moment. Once in a while, go flying. So.
Okay, cool. All right, and very last one. You got 3 foods that you can only eat for the rest of your life. What are they?
Oof. Eggplant parmesan.
Okay. Classic.
Eggplant parmesan.
Oh, 2. Okay. All right.
And salt and vinegar chips.
Nice. That's solid. I respect that. Lay's or what's the other one? Kettle
one.
Kettle. Yeah, I can respect that. I can respect that. All right, guys. You heard it here first. Kettle cooked Lay's, salt and vinegar only. But no. You guys heard it here. Ben Stern, Nohbo, Sunrise Sessions, playing their role, playing their part in a greener earth. You know, this is a really good episode. I'm really happy I had you on here. You guys can definitely take away. I feel like there's a lot that can be taken away from this. Do you have any final words you want to?
I think that covered it, but it was so nice to speak with you and see you again.
Dude, this was awesome. Thank you again, Mr. Gallagher.
Yeah.
Mr. Gallagher is responsible for a lot of the step ups in production that we've had these past few episodes, guys. So we're definitely bringing it through these next few seasons. Thank you again. Oh yeah, I'll take it back.